If we go back to the edit box, we just need to make a few adjustments in here. So if we double click, you'll notice here that we can turn it into a rich editor. We can force uppercase, we can add a border if we want to, make it visible, disabled, etc. But what I'm interested in is the scroll bars here. Now I want to automatically vertically scroll it as people are adding data, and also I want to have a vertical scroll bar, but I don't want to have the horizontal scroll bar, so we'll turn that off. Now what that's doing is, with it checked, the string of data would just keep going across and people would have to use the scroll bar to scroll right to read more data. What this is now going to do is make sure that when our line of text reaches the end of the rich text box, the right hand side, it will wrap that around. I also have the option to set this as read only, put it on all pages, auto size, etc., and to also auto indent. That's used for quite a lot of coding and bits and pieces like that. Once we're done, we'll just simply click OK to go back to our form. Let's just go back up, and I think the layout is quite nice. The size of the form is about right because we'll be adding some buttons a little bit later on, so I'm quite happy with that at this point. Right, let's go and test run this form by clicking the test run button at the top here. And the first thing it's going to do is to prompt us, because of our settings, test run requires that changes be saved. Do you want to save them? Yes, I do. And we go ahead and we run the window. Now, because I set the dictionary item up as a sequential key, but we haven't actually defined a sequential key start number, the system is automatically prompting me for that. So I'm quite happy to start off with record 1, so I'll click OK. And it puts our record number in. Now I can click Tab to go across to surname. Now here we've got the debugger come up. Now you won't be able to see all of this screen, but you can see here that we've got a fatal runtime error because a variable has not been assigned in a value. So we'll just minimize this at the moment, and we'll come out of the test run in here. Now the issue seemed to be with the approximate age. So if I double click the approximate age to bring up the edit line properties, and I click on set for the database association, if you remember, we've got a formula. So I'll click on details. We've got a formula in here. So if we have a quick look, you can see that I've got an error, which I didn't pick up earlier, which is approximate age. So we'll change that to APPROX rather than what we had before. We'll click OK and OK, and we're back to our edit line properties. Now what we've actually done is we've modified that at the dictionary level. So if we just OK out of there, and we go back in and we test run, saving our changes. Again, because I didn't save the record, we still haven't got our first number, so we'll click OK. And if I now tab across, then we're happy. And our patient entry, new entry here. So surname is Phillips and our forenames is Martin. The title we can pick from the drop down. We can't. We haven't got anything defined, so that's something we'll need to get fixed up. The date of birth, 11/07/67, we'll drop that in there. And then I can put in my, change myself to a male. Did you see it actually jumped to the address? So we've got a problem with the tab order, something else to sort out. And then we can click on the first line of the address, and I can put the first line of my address in here. So 45 St Mary's Road. And that's not too good because we need to obviously do something there. The town is Ealing, and the postcode is W55RG. In fact, the town will probably change that to London and keep Ealing above. I haven't actually got the bitmap set up yet, so we won't worry about that at this time. If I come down, then I can put some comments in here. So this is Martin's medical history. I can put whatever I want in there. And then when I've finished, I haven't got any buttons to click to save. I mean, we turned off the button bar. So for the moment, I'll just do File and Save the Row. And it saves the row, clears the form, and takes us back to the next prompt to put another record in. When we're done, we'll just close out of that window. There's a few things to fix up. So the first thing, the title. We actually want to add some titles in there. So double click, and we could pull that from a row in our database, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into items here, and I'm quite happy just to have Mr., Mrs., Miss, and that'll do for the moment. and the default selection is going to be Mr. So we'll OK that. And also we needed to have a look at the address, so we'll double click. Now the address properties window is slightly different to the others. We've got our table name, the selected column, because we can have multiple columns in here. I can insert and append columns. We've got justification and other items in here. Again, we'll be coming to a number of these as we move through. But what I want to do here is for this column, I actually want to auto resize that column so that when we run the form, it will actually move it right the way across. Now the other thing as well is we wouldn't normally have numbers, so we'll just go back into there and we'll turn the numbers off. That's in the more. So here we can make it as disabled, visible, etc. and we'll turn off row numbers. We will allow the rest. So we'll go OK and OK there to take us back to our window. And I think that now looks slightly better. We might want to move address out of there and just have this as a blank grid, but we can look at that a little bit later on. Actually, let's go into the address and more, and we'll turn off the show column headings. Okay, that. But now we don't know that that is an address. So what I can do is go up to here and grab a static text label and drop that on, and we'll change the text up here. It's highlighted to address. And we obviously need to make sure that that is left aligned and also that it's aligned to the top of our grid here. So yep, I'm happy with that. That looks a little bit better. Another change that we might want to make is on the postcode. We might want to make sure that that is always entered in uppercase, so we can set that particular property in there. And once we're done, we can just go up there and just test run that, saving the changes. And this time we'll add in another record. So this will be, I'll just put Joanna in here. And she's a Mrs. Now what I did is I tabbed and just hit the down arrow, which will scroll through there. I tab across to 120968, and that's changed the approximate age to 41. She's female, which I'm happy with, and we'll put her as 45 St Mary's Road as well. Come down, that is in Ealing, London, W55RG, and again we won't worry about the bitmap and the other things, so file and we'll save the row. Now to view a row, all I can do is just hit 1 and return, and that returns back my record. Hitting 2, and there's also other ways of navigating the system, so we've got QBF, but I'll cover that in another lesson. So I think I'll leave you now just to go ahead and put a few more records in the system, and in the next lesson we'll be looking at creating a form menu for this particular form. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for your time once again, and I look forward to seeing you for the next lesson shortly. Thanks so much. Bye bye.